Yes, guys, welcome back to SFeatleyTV, and we're here for the preview to Arsenal's game against Manchester United at the Emirates Stadium. I do apologise; it should have been yesterday, but I wasn't feeling too well yesterday evening, so I'm now doing it live today for you guys. I hope you're all doing well in the chat, and I want to welcome Bath Time to the stream. How are you, mate?
I'm very well. I'm delighted to be here, and hello to everyone watching.
Big up. We also got Marley in as well from Football United TV. How you doing, my bro?
Doing well, mate. Doing well. How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing all right. I do apologise if the overlays do overtaking the screen a little bit, but it's
It's
as
all
best I
good.
can do.
Right now, I'm a
Uh,
football, so I don't mind too much. Your hair looks lovely, by the way, man.
I only just dipped my head into water, cold water, because I had my jab a couple of days ago, so it's quite warm. So it will die down eventually, but sometimes it's just get like about 6 ice cubes, put it in, fill a bath, like literally fill a sink full of water, put some ice in it, and then just dip your head in it. It cools you down straight away.
Yeah,
Big up
I was just
Anthony.
trying to poke a little fun, mate. You don't have to explain yourself.
Mate, you know me. I sometimes I get it, sometimes I don't. Like at least I've got some hair.
Shit, yeah, that's mean. That's straight up mean. I shaved my hair for such a good reason. Throwing that at me is just like, dude, you suck. You're going to hell, Steven.
I know I'm going to hell. I was already condemned to hell, right? God wouldn't want me up there. He wouldn't know what I'll do to him. I believe in eye for an eye. Big up, Stephen. Hope you're well. Big up both Bath Time and Cuz. Big up, Static. I hope you're doing well as well.
Big up,
So
Static.
I'm gonna start with. I'll start with I'll start with the opposition. We'll always be nice to the opposition first, even if it is Man United. Bath Time. Like how like how do you rate the current situation at Man United right now?
Well, it's obviously a difficult one. A lot of people are very buoyed by the appointment of Eric Ten Hag. I'm still somewhat unconvinced from what I've seen,
Okay.
but I think it's a step in the right direction. We obviously have sort of personal issues, unfortunately, with both Ronaldo and Maguire having a difficult week for different reasons. And shout out to both of them.
I want to big up. I want to send our thoughts and condolences to the Ronaldo family. I'm not too sure what happened with Maguire. Sorry, I haven't been paying attention to the news. Sorry.
His house was evacuated and swept after bomb threats.
Oh Jesus Christ! I hope he's doing. Send his best wishes as well. Like, no matter how bad a footballer is, that's not on whatever it is. But yeah, but I heard about Ronaldo's newborn child. That was not nice. Cruel world. But yeah, you were saying.
Yeah, so I mean, there's no way around it. This has been a disastrous season. That like, it feels like I don't know, like something like a prophecy to an apocalypse. Just the absolute, just how bad it has been. We have a squad that is like in internal civil war. We have a fan base that hates the team more than any time in living memory. However, we do have we have some bright spots with our youth team getting to the FA Cup final for the first time in I believe 10 or 11 years. But yeah, it's not a fun time to be a Manchester United fan, but rather like sort of Norse poetry. Things go around in cycles, and we're all hoping that this is the nadir, that this is the bottom of the well, and we're about to break free and live our best lives.
Yeah. Okay. So I mean, I think if I'm looking from an outsider's point of view, I think it's just a combination of what's been years of mismanagement from the top. And you can see it like play out all the way through the club to the bottom to what goes on the pitch.
It's all very familiar.
For me, I'm like severely pissed off that like Arsenal wasn't even considering Ten Hag, or trying to hijack the deal, same as with the whole Conte situation. But like, yeah, Ten Hag was definitely something I thought it would have suited Arsenal to a T, since they wanted to go down this youth project route. Marley, how, like, actually, I'll ask you both time, like, what do you think? But Ten Hag could bring to Man United.
I'm not quite sure. Like, I have watched one or two Ajax games, but there's absolutely no way that you can use that tactical setup in the Premier League. Like, the resting defence he uses and the counter press, that's absolutely fine for the Eredivisie and for like weaker opponents in the Champions League, such as Dortmund. You know, got banged out at the UEFA Cup by Rangers. You can't play that type of football against the pace, power, and the elite tactical knowledge that is in the Premier League. You know, it's the highest concentration of like money, facilities, players, and managers that there's ever been in world football.
Do you think you'd be able to adapt that though? Do you think you'd
Yeah,
be able to adapt to that?
of course. Like, but I would expect that he would use like a sort of Liverpoolian build-up with someone like Scott McTominay or the central midfielder that we're looking to sign, which could be Calvin Phillips, doing a sort of three at the back setup. But I mean, you earlier sort of alluded to Ten Hag being like a youth-focused manager. This is something that also concerns me because Ten Hag is leaving one of the best-run clubs in Europe to come to Manchester United, which is not a particularly well-run club by any degree of imagination.
Between Arsenal and Man United, it's like a guessing game of who's the worst managed.
So who's the worst managed?
Or worst run club, if you know what I mean. Between the Donkeys and the Glaziers.
As in most things, I think Manchester United wins out here quite comfortably. But see, with Ten Hag and the Ajax policy, Ajax, as we all know, quite rightly celebrated for almost a production line of Dutch talent that starts in an academy and carries on. I'm not sure how much Ten Hag has to do with that. Like, Ten Hag is essentially a coach more than a manager at Ajax, where there are clear systems and structures in place that allows, like a production line into the first team. So I'm not quite sure how he's going to fit up with our youth setup. But the youth, I am told, I'm afraid I don't watch them, but the youth, I'm told, is the best for a very, very long time. And to be honest, since the class of '92, we've only really had Rashford and McTominay come through. I suppose Greenwood as well before his extracurricular activities. But I mean, I'm quite excited about Ten Hag because I enjoy positional play in football. I'm very excited to see how he sets us up tactically, and I think that we're moving towards a restructuring of a club that has too long existed as a sort of medieval fiefdom of Ed Woodward's and before him Alex Ferguson. So I'm really excited to see what happens with Manchester United. But I think we're in for a very, very long time and quite a lot of pain. But that's my take on it.
Yeah. Before I go to you, Mark, I just want to big up some other people in the chat. Big up Miss Mel, Alexander Hilton as well. Both Man United are poor this season. I think this game will got a draw all over it. It's a very good point. 8 likes. Do hit the like button, subscribe. Yes, if you could also share the channel and the stream, it'd be really, really greatly appreciated. I'll gladly swap in it and leave you up for the Glazier. I wouldn't jump too quickly at that. I think the one thing difference between the Glaziers and the Conkeys, I think the Conkeys are better communicating recently than the Glaziers. Glaziers just don't communicate at all. Like, whereas the Conkeys have tried to communicate a little bit with the fans, but obviously so many years of mismanagement, we got no trust in them whatsoever, and we don't want them there. So, yeah, I mean, Marley, how do you see Man United at the minute?
Or are you asking about Man United right now, or about the Ten Hag appointment?
Well, yeah, that, and then the Ten Hag appointment. What do you see that can bring to him?
Okay. Well, United seems to be in a mess right now. I agree that United and Arsenal have been like poster childs for like how to
not to run
ruin
your
a
club.
from
Yeah.
exactly how to ruin your club from the top down. And United does seem to be in a bigger mess than Arsenal, and I just say that because they're failing just as bad as we are and spending a lot more money. So it seems a little more shambolic than that. The Ten Hag appointment, mate. I honestly feel in my heart that there's only two managers in the world that are not gambles. That's Klopp and Pep. Like everyone knows that. Anyone else that you get, like sure, there's some managers that you stand a much bigger
Nagelsmann?
chance of success. Dude, Nagelsmann, like he's been doing great, but he's still fairly young. Like you can't. It's not like Bayern's ripping everyone to shreds. He's not a guaranteed success. These two are. And anyone else you go with, mate, like there's still a chance that it might not work. I feel like a lot of people pretend to know more about Ten Hag than they actually do. People don't watch the Eredivisie that much.
Mate, that's a lot. Like most fans these days, as soon as appointments come in, I know this man. It's like when Arsenal sign any player, or they come out saying, "I knew this player was good. He's gonna do bits for Arsenal." Blah 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 blah, and then 5 years later, they're turning against him.
A lot of people get a little too hyped from a couple of really good and really impressive Champions League runs. But the Eredivisie, mate, really entertaining league to watch. The big clubs in the Netherlands, I feel like they deserve a lot of respect. But it's there's no competition for the big two usually, right? Like it's good if you think about it. Like Ten Hag does show some traits that he's able to deal with stars, because for the Eredivisie, Ajax has a lot of stars. So maybe that'll translate into something good at United. But there's no guarantee. And he's never managed a Ronaldo. He's never had like 3 games in a row against West Ham, Wolves, then City. Like he's never been in a league in such an aggressive environment when it comes to competition, right? Like it's going to be very different. Yeah, I hope it doesn't work out, mate. That's my take.
Oh, well, yeah, of course, obviously, that's also what I wanted to take out. Yeah. So flip it the other way around, bar time. I'll ask you about how do you see Arsenal this season?
All right, I know what's coming here. I've been very impressed with Arsenal for like I'd say 18 to 24 months, and I'm worried. I'm extremely worried about what I see happening at Arsenal. I think that your recruitment has been pretty spot on, but slight exceptions. Pepe was probably the last sort of big COVID transfer. I believe he was 70 million. He was a player I would have. How much?
72.
Yeah. Okay, it didn't work out. It was probably too much money and so on, but he was a player that I would have liked at Manchester United. Same with Gabriel.
Fair, in Pepe's defence,
he's been all right, hasn't he?
He's every time he's come on, he's tried to make an impact, but then he's given like 15-minute cameos, and even in those 15-minute cameos, he's given he actually tries to make an impact on the game. He's actually someone who will take someone on. But if you're getting picked over in Nketiah, right? No, I'm sorry. Like it's not that shit. It can't be that shit if he's being picked over Eddie Nketiah every time. That's more. I don't think you're good enough. That's more. I've got a personal vendetta against you.
Right. I don't really understand what you're talking about. I'm gonna be honest.
Well, every time Pepe comes on, before he comes on, Eddie Nketiah is picked first to come on before Pepe. So Pepe only gets about 10, 12 minutes tops, like, to make an impact.
Okay.
And Eddie Nketiah couldn't even get in Leeds' substitution bench when they were in the Championship. Right? Like that, those 2 goals in Chelsea at Chelsea on Wednesday. Yeah, you barely see him score another goal for another year.
I hope so.
Yeah, of course.
I have to say, from what I've seen of him, I don't think that he's a particularly good player. But I'm not sure Omerta works like that, where they play different positions. So like one comes on, it might be more to do with Lacazette than Pepe. But like for me, like I understand, Stephen, that you're like extremely pessimistic about Arsenal. You want to be higher. You don't think you should be in the current position you're at.
It's not just that. I don't see improvement.
Yeah, I do, and it worries me tremendously. I think that sorry, is it Marley? Am I saying that correctly?
Marley,
I don't
yeah.
know. Yeah. How you doing, mate? Earlier on, you were mentioning about how there are two guaranteed managers in the world in Pep and Klopp. Klopp wasn't a guarantee when he came to the United Kingdom, and it took quite a long time.
No. Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
Only now. I'm sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah. The thing about Klopp is, I mean, to me, he's a Liverpool man, so I don't like him. And it's like, I don't know, he's like a Labrador in a man's body. It just annoys me. But Klopp is tremendously charismatic and has built a great connection with the Liverpool fans. I think that if Arteta was a charismatic man, you might feel very differently about him, because I see an Arsenal team that people like. I see it full of fantastic players like Saka and Emil Smith-Rowe and Odegaard. I see a really consistent pattern of play with their counter pressing and their ability to progress on the wings. I see a weak squad, but I see a squad that is sort of getting like bad apples, like Aubameyang out, and a return to the sort of like the culture that a dressing room needs, of high standards and of people working for a team. And when I see like an Arsenal team for the first time in 10 years that is working together and sacrificing for each other on the team, it worries me tremendously. So like I am also Arteta out, but for completely different reasons.
Okay.
Yeah, what do you have to say about that, Steven?
Jesus. Okay. I'm just gonna hit.
Yo, by the way, can you just switch me with him? Because I look enough like a thumb. Steven, just put me up there. Come on. My head's already weird enough. Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Here we go. You talk of improvement. Okay. Arsenal's record last season: 18 wins.
There you go.
7 draws, 13 defeats, 55 goals scored, 39 goals conceded. Right? Goal difference is 16. This season, so far already, bearing in mind we're probably going to play teams we're going to lose against as well, knowing that we lost to Brighton, Southampton, and who else did we lose? Crystal Palace. And Crystal Palace. You want to talk of improvement? That's a manager who's managed to improve him, and on far less money, not 250 mil, and in less than a season. 18 wins, it's the same amount of wins. 3 draws, it's okay. You've managed to get less draws and maybe turn them into wins, or 11 defeats. I mean, we've got 8 games. We're probably going to lose another 2 or 3 of them. So 14 defeats, something like that. We've also
5 games, not 8.
Also, people keep going, Arteta fixed the defense. So why have we? If our defense is so much greater and Ben White's such a brilliant player, and that we're all fighting and dying for each other, why have we conceded more goals the same amount of goals as we did last season? I thought this manager was supposed to improve us. What this shows to me is that we're not improving. That's the only reason, right?
I think there are a couple of mitigating circumstances. It is, to me, it's somewhat disingenuous to compare last season's statistics with this season's. Last season was COVID.
It's where you base.
No,
it's not. It is. It's where you. Whereas if you look at Klopp from his season to the next season, first of all, his first half season got themselves to a European final, which I think they lost. Right. The next season, he got top 4.
Right. So, like, as I was saying before, like you started comparing
Sorry.
yourself to Jurgen Klopp. Last season,
Well, that's what you
and
just
indeed,
compared to earlier, mate.
yeah. Well, no, I didn't. I said that there was like that if Arteta had charisma, which he doesn't. That I think things might be different. But last season and this season are two of the strangest seasons that there have ever been in sports. We had a global pandemic and COVID for last year. Manchester United finished second last year, above Liverpool. Like, that is an erroneous result. Okay, no one in the stadiums. Like, absolutely ridiculous. The players have been like in this very strange like sort of bubble. And I think that to compare the stats between these two seasons, it doesn't. They're not like, they just don't really sort of add up, right? I understand that, like, so I think what you're telling me is that even with the, was it 150 million he spent this summer?
150 mil plus the
150
other
million.
100 mil he's
Are
had
you
on
telling
top
me
of
that
that.
you're telling me you're a worse team this year than you were
No,
last year?
it's not. I'm not saying we're no better or worse. When there's no improvement.
Right. So what
With
place were you this
150
time
mil,
last year?
8th,
What place are you now?
5th or 6th, 5th.
So
I
there
believe.
is a demonstrable improvement.
How? Because the record's
Because,
not even improved.
well, because you've gone up, like, you've gone up in the table.
Yeah, because the league's shitter.
How is the league shitter? Please
Yeah.
explain that
Because
to me.
hang on
If
a
more
minute.
teams
We've
have
got,
more
hang
money
on a
now,
minute.
like
No, and
how does that make sense?
I explain this in simple terms. If you've got the same record, so the same amount of points in the end of the season compared to last season, but you all of a sudden finishing 5th or 6th, and rather than 7th or 8th, it means everything that around you has got worse.
Or that
No, it
teams have
doesn't.
got better and
Yeah.
that they're
Or the
taking
other
less
teams have got better.
points. Yeah. And that of all the teams that have got better,
But-
Arsenal appear to have improved
But
the
then
most.
again, Tottenham have slipped. Tottenham have slid further down. Man United have slid further down, right? West Ham haven't been as good. Wolves haven't been as
West
good.
Ham.
No, West Ham
West
haven't
Ham's
been
been
as
great.
West. No,
West
no,
Ham's
no.
been
But
great.
West Ham, they haven't been as good as last season, right? They haven't been as good as last season. They've only
I
won
think-
15 games this season, not 19.
I would suspect, I don't want to or claim that I speak for West Ham fans. I would suspect that
And
West Ham
Leicester.
fans would say that this has been one of the greatest seasons in living memory for them,
What
as
about
they
what about
progressed to a
Leicester season?
semi-final of European.
I get that,
European
but what
Cup.
about? I get that, but for the Premier League, for the Premier League, they have not done as well as this season, right? Whereas Leicester, who won the FA Cup, they finished 5th this last season, going into the final game where they could have clinched top 4 and probably should have, but in the end they bowled it, right? So you had Leicester in front of you, that Man United in front of you, Tottenham in front of you, right? That were all better than us last season.
And now you're
But
better
now
than
this
them.
season, Leicester are not as good.
Yeah,
West
but you're
Ham
better than them, than us. Like you're demonstrable. The table doesn't lie. You're better than all of those teams. So your point is that the improvement in Arsenal's league position is down to 3 or 4
what's going
teams
around us.
collectively drop in ability, and not Arsenal.
Yeah, we're
like,
relying on other teams to drop in ability. We're
That's
not actually
how
improving.
that's how
We're
that's
not
how football
actually
leagues
improved.
work, mate.
Yeah,
That's
but
how football
we've not
leagues work.
actually. I don't care, but we're not actually improving.
I think
Klopp's
you are
season- Klopp this
improving
season-
when you look at the Liverpool performances.
Yeah,
But if
that's
you
the
look at
thing.
it-
We are
but if-
improving.
Yeah, but great. But in the end, we still lose those fucking games. So what's
Yeah, but
the
it's
point?
a process. It's a process which you need to trust, Stephen.
Oh, Jesus
Last time, dude.
Christ.
I mean, I mostly disagree with Steven pretty much everything.
Nice.
But there's one thing that like I do understand, and I understand fully. Like it's tough to ask for Arsenal fans to be patient.
Yeah.
Right? Like we got
Patient.
used.
I've heard this already.
No, I'm not. That's what I'm saying. It's tough. Like I feel like it's a little unfair to ask us to be patient, but like sadly it's what we have to do, mate. We're not gonna become Man City from one night to the next. It's not gonna happen.
It
It's
took
simply not
Manchester
going to
City
happen.
10 years, with unlimited funds to get somewhere. And Klopp has changed things because he got pretty much all his recruitment spot on, and they also made an absolute mug out of Barcelona by taking
also he's a top
130
manager.
million.
But he's also a top manager that can get
And
players
he
like
needed
Andrew
luck
Robertson
and patience.
But he could also, but he also is a top level manager that can change people that like Andrew Robertson from Hull into one of the best left backs in the country, right?
Yeah.
Whereas, like Arteta
has
got
turned Saka into
none
one of the
that.
best right wingers in Europe.
Or actually a winger that's so frigging knackered after 30 minutes because he plays in every fucking game. And plus also, the reason also we can't improve like every goddamn year is because he decided we're going on his youth project. There's a problem with that. He's got no experience in the team. And if you've got no experience in the team, which he also had in January to invest in, just not even invest in, just get a 6-month loan in, right? This is what happens. They have a good performance, then down, up and down, because it's a young squad. It is inconsistent. It's always going to be. So we're going to sit here for 2-3 years while this lot grow up. Well, I'm not sitting here for 2 or 3 years.
What happens if you get Klopp in with these players? If he's like the best, like get Klopp or Pep in, what does he do with these players?
Klopp would rather as a manager because he can work with a budget.
Or fourth. That's
finish
it.
Third or fourth, right?
Yeah. That's
so
what I feel would happen.
6 or 9 points improvement on your current place.
That's what I would feel happen. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'd agree with that as well.
Yeah.
Like
Steven, you know what time does to young people?
And
makes them older. It makes them older. Mate, having the youngest squad in the league, it's not an issue, mate. It's a freaking project, dude.
But you need experience.
Steven.
You need experience in your team.
In a lot of games,
We've got Granit Xhaka with his experience.
Calm down, mate. We're having a conversation. Like we
love
each other. No need to.
But you're saying this, but I'm sorry, but you're saying this when we've got Granit Xhaka as our experience. How can you get experience from that?
And I hate it, dude. And I hate Granit Xhaka. Everyone does. His family hates him. But what I'm saying is, right now, like, dude, yes, sure. There's a lot of points that we lose because we don't have experience right now. But looking at the past couple of years where we've had a bunch of really experienced players that only turn to crap, like our young players have been our best players for a couple months now. Dude, like in the long term, that makes sense. We're saving money. We're making the team better and not worse. So, like, he's not saying he's never gonna want experience again. But right now, the experience that we could have had,
do you really think Martinelli and Saka are gonna sit on their ass while they've got Liverpool sniffing around their ass? No.
I think Liverpool have made their signings for attackers.
No, but if Liverpool did decide we think we can pinch Saka or Martinelli,
they don't have the money.
Do you really think they're gonna sit there? No.
I think to sign Saka, I mean, how much money do you think that is going to cost?
Over 100 mil. But I would also
have that money.
No, we shouldn't be signing him. They shouldn't be signing him. Arsenal should literally go, we want Saka. Put the phone down.
Yeah, that's not how football works. I think you should be more worried about Man City than Liverpool.
If they sell either Martinelli or Saka, then I've lost faith in this club completely. It doesn't want to improve at all, to be honest with me. But anyway, I've got to get through some comments before I lose the entire chat as well. Arteta is just not the man for Arsenal. They need a change of manager and ownership. Seeing the smile on Solo, you're such a wind-up, man. Big up. It is a theme. By the way, do go subscribe to the Man United Agenda Epic channel. And all family there. Is it a family? Is it a theme United fans are more positive about Arsenal advice? Pretty much. Bloody hell,
I'm not more positive about United. I'm not familiar with that movement.
Yeah, but you want to see Twitter, mate. Trust me. I've already heard that. It's the pandemic. You can't compare it to that. It's a
Excuse
football
me?
season. I've already heard that on Twitter. It's a pandemic. You can't compare the pandemic season to this season.
That's
So you're
because it's a
saying-
great
No.
argument, mate. It's
Yeah,
a great
yeah,
argument.
you're saying because you've seen it on Twitter, it's no longer valid.
No, I'm not saying it's no longer valid.
What are you
I've just seen
saying?
that excuse. I'm saying I've seen that excuse before.
It's
But
not
when
an
are we gonna cut?
excuse.
When are we going to cut the excuses for
Well, it's
games
not an
against?
excuse.
Okay, so why do we lose against Crystal Palace? Why do we lose against Brighton? Why
I
do we
don't
play
know,
like we
but
did?
that has
Why
nothing
is
to
it
do
we play
with
like
comparing a COVID season in a global pandemic to this season, which isn't in a global pandemic. Yes, you can compare them, but that is not the point that I'm making.
Why,
I'm saying
why
that
is
the
it
two
not valid
systems.
to compare both seasons? The football
Because
season.
because when you do something called like a paired t-test, which is what you're trying to do, you compare two identical circumstances to each other and see if there's a statistical significance between the pair of them. The seasons are not identical, so the test is invalid. And that, Stephen, I'm afraid, is science. So you can take it up with them.
I do it every day. I do it every week, mate. It's called being at the hospital.
Yeah.
Arteta will never get Arsenal challenged for a title. By the way, in Europe, he's got to make the Champions League next season if he's going to win it. What did I tell you, Stephen? You are challenged for the Champions League.
I can't believe you're getting corrected by Solo. Shout out to Solo.
You're challenging for the Champions League, which is a massive improvement on last season. Yeah, thanks to who not actually challenging for the title this season.
He's bigging us up. Like, I don't know
Yeah,
why
but look,
where's this anger coming from, Stephen?
right.
I'm
That's
fed up with the crap. I'm fed up with this crap.
Don't take it out on Solo. Solo's a nice guy. He's watching your channel and you're shouting at him.
No, I'm not having a go at him. I'm just saying there's like you lot said we're supposed to be challenging for the title next season. Instead,
we were, yes.
Away fourth place. That's all I'm saying. Like West Ham are in a semi-final of the Europa League. Absolutely, West Ham ain't won a trophy for it. Yeah, like I'd love to see West Ham to win that. Actually, to be honest, I am rooting for them. Arsenal are improving. You've got how are they improving? I just read it out.
It's very clear, man.
It's not significant. It's really not significant. That is for 250 million quid. That is not a significant improvement. If you've given Klopp that sort of money, right, when he took over Liverpool, Jesus Christ, it would have been more than full spot. Right? Bringing an elite manager in isn't Arteta isn't the answer to take Arsenal to win. Based on what I've seen, like how is it? He loses to Brighton, he loses to Southampton, he loses to Crystal Palace. Why? Because he plays the same shitty way every single time and never bloody adapts. Ever. Right? And we called it at the start of Southampton game, playing the same bullshitty way. We said that is going to cost us this game today. And what happened? Exactly what we said. Right. So apparently we can see it, but this manager can't. But there you go. But then he can go and beat like Chelsea through. To be honest, Chelsea that night were pretty shit. They were pretty shit on the weekend as well. The target of elite sport is to win major honours. It's just something Arteta won't do. This is a good.
I really disagree with that comment.
No,
that's not what elite sport is.
Yeah,
elite sport is building a connection with the community. What? Football clubs are community football clubs that represent the values of the supporters and the people around them.
So Hamilton goes round and round. So for another
Hamilton
example,
isn't a football club, although he might be buying Chelsea.
No. Hang on, elite sport. He said elite sport. So
fair enough. If it's elite sport, then yeah.
He is in an elite sport, so he's just going around on a circuit just to build his connection with the fans. No,
I'd like to think so.
Races. Yeah, but he's there to win championships or races. That's the main thing.
Yeah, but in the context, which is very important, Stephen, of like talking about Arteta and football clubs, I'm treating it as a football club. And football clubs are a reflection of community values above all.
And when has Arsenal ever been like that for the last 17 years?
I don't know. Maybe with the knife crime initiative you've done, which was extremely good.
Well, that's like that's one thing at least.
That's what you asked for.
Steve, I am Arteta as well, but why Arteta title race? Yeah, he won't. I'm judging Arteta on what he's doing recently, and what it's recently shown to me is that he's not improving. I'm sorry, it's like, and in about 2 losses time, he would have equaled last season. So I'm sorry.
I
That's
like
not
this comment.
It's not.
You are not allowed to change your mind with new evidence. I think that's a great point.
No, just in Steven's defense, like the win streak never changed his mind. Like he's been Arteta out for a long time now.
Yeah, he's consistent.
Yeah, hang on a minute. When have I changed my opinion to Arteta in?
He's talking about fans.
He says in the next comment that he's not talking about us.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Arsenal fans in general. Yeah.
Yeah.
Trust me, the Arsenal fans in general are literally flip flop. I even had one fan that even said, if Arteta does not improve significantly next season in the record, right, then I'll change my mind about him. He hasn't done. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. You're saying get a elite.
I think that's a great point from Canal.
You were saying get an elite manager. How many are elite per Klopp and Pep? That is a good point. I'll give you that one. You got
only
I
2
think
guarantees.
compared to Klopp. Yeah, there's 2 guarantees, like Marley said at the start of the show. But there's also like there's.
I think Ancelotti would be a good manager. I think Ancelotti would be a decent. I would have quite liked him.
But you've got to find the right fit. You've got to find the one that's going to be the right fit.
Yeah, I mean, like
as well.
There's the Brighton manager Potter. He looks like he could make he looks like he could make a step up. But all these guys are going to need investment and patience, and I'm not sure that there's a guarantee that they will produce the same situation you're in with Arteta, which is that you're near qualifying for the Champions League.
No, I just think we need someone that will invest in the youth, which is what we've done. Right, but also bring the experience in as well and be able to be tactically better and more tactically sound and better set up than ours.
What tactics would you like to see change from Arteta?
I'd like to see him adapt it during a game. Like, so if the
Pep
plan
and Klopp don't. So most top managers don't.
Oh, hang on, but if plan A doesn't work, they do.
I don't think Pep does, and I haven't seen Klopp ever do it.
Because most
of the time
they believe
in their football. They believe in their tactics and they believe in their players. Like Pep might have changed it with Zlatan Ibrahimovic, Barcelona a decade ago.
I get that, but there are times where you need to adapt a game plan. Southampton, right? The Crystal Palace game, we were getting dominated in the midfield.
Okay, so what is the Arsenal tactical setup?
It's usually 4 across the back. It's got.
That's a formation. What's the tactical setup?
It's supposed.
Okay, are you using like sort of a counter press?
That's
usually
most
like
of it,
to press.
counter press.
Yeah, most of it, like okay. I mean, for example,
who leads the press?
Usually, we try and press from the front. Like,
right, so
if you saw for Chelsea, for example, Game, for example, we were pressing from the front, right?
But that's all teams press from the front that use a press.
Yeah, but we were pressing in specific, problem areas that were causing problems, right? Whereas if you saw it against Southampton or Brighton or Crystal Palace, it wasn't so much like a group, It wasn't so much like Chelsea where there was 2 or 3 trying to press in a group and pack them out. It was more just one person bothering, and that was pretty much it.
So do you think that's a tactical instruction for one person to press?
Well, for me, it has to be.
I don't know, because you don't press with one person. We've seen what happens at United when Bruno Fernandes just like runs like a fucking zombie, excuse my French, at a goalkeeper. Like, so what, like, right, so Stephen, in terms of the sort of like the tactics of the press and things, you have like pressing triggers, right? Which is where
Right.
you press. Normally that is a pass
See,
across the centre backs.
this is where I do struggle on.
Okay, but
Right.
Brighton, for example, were they using 3 centre backs or 2 when you played them? I know they've changed recently.
They used the 3.
They used 3.
They used 3 and packed out the midfield with a 5.
Okay, and when you played Chelsea, did they use 3? They used 3 at the back on Wednesday, yeah?
Yeah.
Not as far.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they did.
So what was the difference in the pressing in the Chelsea and the Brighton game?
Brighton were able to swamp our in the Brighton game, because
Yeah.
we had no Partey. We had 2 very similar DMs. So we had Xhaka and El Neni, or Xhaka Lokonga. I think it was Xhaka Lokonga. And because they were too similar, there was no one being the box to box bringing the ball forward. So he always got stuck or being too slow in transition from defence to attack, which gave Brighton the opportunity to be able to swamp us out of the midfield.
So, sorry, when I see Arsenal play, I see that most of the ball progression comes down the flanks. Is that wrong? You progress the ball through a double pivot?
We try.
When you counter-attack, you go down the wing.
Sometimes we're going down the wings. Sometimes it's Partey bringing the ball forward. Right?
Okay.
Because every time Partey's not there, right, Odegaard doesn't receive the ball, and then he's literally like missing throughout the entire game because he's got no one to bring the ball forward to give it to him.
So what I'm sort of like I'm taking from this is that it might not have been the tactics that were wrong. It might have been the players. Like, you don't have like a deep enough squad to compete over the course of a season.
But here's the thing: he could have quite easily played ESR as a number 8, right? As a box to box to bring the ball
against
forward. Against Brighton.
You think that like Bissouma, Ward-Prowse, that Romeo or whatever, like they all seem quite physical for Ward-Prowse. Sorry, for Emil Smith-Rowe to cope with. I don't know. I mean, I like Emil Smith-Rowe as a player.
He's very tough. He's tough. He's not the one that's easily beaten off the ball.
Okay.
It's not like Walcott was, where you touch him, he fall on the floor. So he's quite strong himself.
So actually you're happy with the tactics. You're just not happy with the players in the positions, and that's what you'd like to see change from Arteta.
I'm more fussed the fact that he's not adapting, sort of like where you see Potter would adapt his system to what he's got available in your side, because sometimes you're going to have to change your game plan because you haven't got the strength in your side. For example, Arteta doesn't do that. He sticks to the same way no matter what. And unfortunately, in our midfield, we've got two similar we're playing because he doesn't play anyone that will bring the ball forward, right? We end up getting the ball stuck in midfield, which gives teams like a Brighton, Southampton, or Palace to swamp us in the midfield. And we end up losing the ball because we can't string a pass together. Southampton, the amount of times we were losing the ball in the midfield, it was unreal. And we called it all before the game. Because that was where they were going to hurt us, because they would not give us time on the ball because we were too slow. Whereas if we had someone like Smith-Rowe who would have played as an 8, we would have bring the ball forward. Yeah. And then Odegaard would have received the ball, Saka would have received the ball, Martin, the only time we did get to receive the ball was down the wings, quick, where you've got Tavares, who's probably better going forward than he is defensively, right? And also Cedric, who's definitely better going attacking than he is defending, right? So at least then you've got Martinelli and Saka, but Odegaard was completely missing because he had no one in the midfield from the centre bringing the ball up.
So with better players, do you think that the tactics would work? That sounds to me what you're saying. That it's just that you have like players that can't do what Arteta wants them to do. But when you do have the right players, like Partey, who's able to progress the ball and allow Odegaard to do his stuff, and like Smith Rowe and Saka, absolutely fantastic. I think everyone will agree that they've been standout Premier League
they're
players.
absolutely fantastic. I feel
Bath
that...
time, mate. Where have you been all my YouTube life?
No.
In the bath.
Hang on a minute.
Thank you
Hold on a
for
minute,
being
mate.
here, mate.
Oh no,
Thank
hold
you.
on a second. Right, what I will say is that, right, even if his system's good enough, right, in certain parts of the season,
You don't like him.
you'll need
I get it.
In this, no, the reason he doesn't do change, right, and that's what's cost Wenger.
He's
I've
changed
seen it.
your club, hasn't he?
No. What I'm telling about in terms of tactical, right, and it's what's cost. It cost Wenger a few titles, right? Sort of decisions that also, like in January, not buying anyone in January. I all said in January, we don't get at least more now than on a 6-month loan, right? We're gonna pay for it, right? And now we're losing to teams we should be beating because we haven't got a depth in our squad at all. Because he decided to get rid of the rest of he decided we need to thin the squad out. We didn't need to thin the squad out. You could have done that in the summer and brought players in with him, right? I think to have more depth.
Personally,
but that's what Wenger has done before, and it's what's cost Wenger another 2 titles.
No, well, I mean,
3.
To go back to Klopp, that's exactly what he did as well with Mohamed Saku or whatever, who was like their best ball-playing centre-back. He didn't like his attitude, got rid of him. And he also essentially Klopp's original Liverpool team plays slightly differently to the one they have now. But he also didn't really change his tactics. It's a very common thing in top managers where they keep playing the same way. Simeone cannot be Arsenal manager. That's
he's not going to be Arsenal's manager. No way. He's pragmatic.
Okay.
Even I think it doesn't suit Arsenal.
I agree with this statement. I don't see Emil Smith Rowe as having the physical capacities to be a box-to-box player.
It's a delusional state. No, it isn't, mate.
No, it's not delusional.
If he plays as a cam, he can easily drop into the 8 and do a job.
No need to go to that route.
He's exaggerating for comic effect.
Yeah, exactly.
He's just saying it's not a good position for. Look, he said the same thing as Anthony.
He can grow into it. But he's not ready to play as number 8 in the Premier League yet. He can grow into it. I don't doubt it.
He can do box to box as a job if he needs to. Right? It's not his natural position, but if Partey's out, it's an option you could have done.
Do you always shout at your comments?
If you're playing teams like lower end of the league, which you should be beating, right? You should be doing that sort of you should be taking those sort of risks, right? It's an obvious because what we did have available. He was the only probably player that was available that could have made probably the difference.
Mm-hmm. Right? I agree with Shane here.
Wijnaldum, for example, if we bought Wijnaldum on loan, the game against Crystal Palace was more the fact, right? We didn't have
Sorry, are you saying you lost against Crystal Palace because you didn't have Georgie Wijnaldum?
No, I'm saying we didn't have experience. We didn't have the experience to handle a Monday night game against a hostile crowd away at Crystal Palace. Okay. Where in those games you do need experience on the pitch.
I agree that you do. You need leaders.
That's what I'm saying.
You're gonna have to go, guys.
Sorry, man. Because we're taking a while to get on with this.
Nah, it's all good. It's all good. Thank you. Thank you for having me here once again. Nice to be on a stream with you about time.
Pleasure to meet you.
I
hope
hope there's. Oh, thank you. Well, find me at Football United TV. I'm actually streaming there in a couple of minutes. So when this one's done, go there. Maddie also just did an introduce yourself with Rich. He's been on this channel as well. Good Crystal Palace fan.
He's got to get me on there, Matt. He said he's going to get 2 rages. What's he doing?
You need no introduction, mate. You need no introduction.
Yeah, going on
Uh,
with us.
but yeah, just go to Football United TV. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Marley Chillin at Charlie Millen. And yeah, that's it. That's it. Find me here very often as well. Hopefully with more and
Wicked.
more hair.
Yeah, it's going back definitely, mate.
Yeah. Catch you guys later. Yeah, it's been a pleasure.
Yeah, see you later, mate. Yeah, I think Arteta's a very good coach, but will he take you to titles? I don't know, but he's not at that level at the moment. He did as leads at least next season. Not for me. Not for me. Not after especially with some of the recent decisions. It's also got rid of people causing press dressing room. Yes, you could say that, but then like what Aubameyang's done since he's gone to a manager that actually believes in him. He's banged in goals left, right, and centre. But then again, I don't think. To be honest, I do. The one thing I didn't agree with the whole Aubameyang thing is he didn't buy anyone to replace him. Because I do think Oba didn't fit the system anymore. So in that case, he did need to go. Odegaard drifted into areas of the pitch, which is no good. Well, he has to drop. That's because in those games, we had no cam because he had to drop so deep if he wanted the ball.
Has he improved, Odegaard?
He's improved since he turned up, but again, it's the youth having those games where they're pivotal games and you're not, and then they don't perform.
Mm-hmm.
Right? But even if you're the youth and you're having those games, like games against a Southampton and a Brighton who have been in dismal form, you shouldn't be losing those games. You shouldn't be. No, that's just one step too far. Roberto Mancini, I won. Okay,
that's a good shout.
Yeah, it's not a bad shout.
Yeah.
Emil Smith Rowe bullied in the midfield, so no, he belongs nowhere near there. Telling me you wouldn't take there. I want no. It's just he doesn't fit it. It doesn't fit it.
Yeah, Simone is
he's a better
manager.
He's a better manager, no doubt. But he's just
it's like Jose Mourinho. Like it's Arsenal Football Club. It's not I don't know how Simeone convinces these wonderful players to play
before
Mourinho
and Simeone came around. George Graham used to do it.
Yeah, but that's like Wenger changed your club into from boring 1-0 Arsenal to Gallic flair, and it's not Simeone. Like I understand Simeone's a great manager, but he's not an Arsenal manager. You can't. I think he's poking fun.
We will draw this game my only way. Okay. Joey plays over in his actual position on Arteta. Yeah. Yeah, so we're going to move into the predicted lineup. So I'm actually going to use this squad builder for this, actually. For both teams, if you want. Unless you'll really push for time, we can do it another way.
No, I can give you some more time, Stephen. That's fine.
All right, cool. Thank you. I really do appreciate you being on, by the way.
It's my pleasure.
Yeah, so what system do you do 4-3-3 or 4-2-3-1 in particular?
I don't know. Like this game, I know that's not very helpful.
That's really. I'll go on the last game, shall I? Which is.
Yeah, I think we'll play a. Put 4-3-3.
I'll base it off your last win. How about I base it off your last win? How about that?
Okay, sure.
So your last win was against Norwich. And you only just beat them as well. So that was a 4-3-3. So it was a 4-3-3. And I think we're a single pivot.
Yeah.
So it's a single DM. So if we can find 4-3-3. There you go. So if I can share that right now. Make sure you do hit the like button and subscribe if you are new. Right. Just go through a bit more of the comments. Melina. Well, when you say that, I nearly started supporting United, but there you go. But there you go. If Emery had the backing Arteta did, do you know what? That's a point. If Emery got the backing that this man got, my fuck, would he be having such a team? Like, he would have been doing bits. He'd be doing a lot better, to be honest. I would definitely think he would be easy top 4. Don't forget, he was a point out of the top 4 when we had players like Czech, Kolasinac, Mustafi, dead-ass players, right? And yet he did it with 50 million to spend in the summer, right? And got us to a European final. So like, people really under for me, Emery's always going to be above. I think Potter would flip like a glove for Arsenal or Spurs if Conte goes to PSG. Conte to PSG, Jesus Christ. Is that the next manager in charge? Right, so goalkeeper is obviously going to be De Gea for you.
For me or for Ragnick?
Ragnick.
Yeah. Definitely.
Unless you're choosing another goalkeeper.
I would personally play Henderson.
You would personally play it, so it's your, yeah, because it's what I go on what you want to see.
There's no way Henderson's playing. Put De Gea in. He's probably the only. There's only 3 players I can tell you that are going to play. 4 players that.
I would have said De Gea because I don't really think he's done too much wrong, to be honest.
De Gea, well,
unless I missed it, I haven't seen things. But...
It's a tactical issue involving lots of boring terminology. But I would suspect that. I suspect that De Gea will be one of the many casualties of Ten Hag's reign at United.
Okay.
He's an antiquated goalkeeper.
He's had a good. He's actually one of your last team members to win the title, isn't he?
Yes, him and Phil Jones.
Oh yeah, I forgot about Phil Jones. He's got to get his testimonial, isn't he?
Yep, I'm a massive fan of Phil Jones. Or any slander against him. Absolute hero.
You must be his personal lawyer.
No, he's someone who sacrificed his body and his mind for the club and should be treated with a lot of respect.
The pink boots. So, right back.
It's so difficult because after the disastrous performance and with Ragnick, he might just do something crazy. But I think it'll be Aaron Wan-Bissaka.
So, Aaron Wan-Bissaka.
Nice.
Oh, hey, mate. He's been playing like shit, hasn't he? So.
Actually, he's one of the few players that has emerged with any credit this month.
Oh, okay. Okay, I'll take that back then.
And that's so he's basically not fallen over and all his arms fallen off.
Okay, so David is our player of the season. Big up Shane B, by the way. Big up anyone new in the chat. If you haven't already, please do hit the like button, subscribe, and also become a member as well. From it was $1.99. Your donation to the charity. Your donation every month as a member goes to Children's Liver Disease Foundation. So if you could do so, it'd be great. Yeah, left back.
I don't think he's going to play Fernandes, so I think it'll be Telles. Fernandes is not Bruno Fernandes; it's a different player. He's a youth left back.
Yeah. What about? I was gonna say. Oh, I thought you might have said Luke for sure.
Shaw's injured. He's out for the season.
Luke shit for sure.
He's having bolts taken out of his broken leg.
Oh shit, that's not nice. Maguire.
I think so. I think he will. I think he'll play Maguire.
People say he should have been arrested in Greece. He should be just arrested for impersonating a football player.
Good one.
Another centre back.
Varane.
Varane. I feel sorry for Varane having to part of him sometimes.
He's been very underwhelming as a signing, to be honest.
Yeah, I have to admit that. Right.
I think the problem is that he's not. For Manchester United centre backs, we normally expect them to go and attack the ball, and Varane is not a centre back that attacks the ball. So sometimes it's quite difficult to say if he's played well or if he's been too passive. It's difficult. I'm hoping that a lot of it is down to leaving a club after 10 years, and we'll see him good next season. Solo is saying Maguire's on the bench, according to reports.
Okay.
I think he'll play Solo, but we'll see. He's the club captain.
What about DM Pogba?
No, Pogba's out for the season. Pogba will never play for
He's
Manchester
out for
United.
the season.
Yeah, I'll never play for Manchester United again. It'll be the one, the only Scott McTominay.
Oh, fucking McFred.
Fred's injured.
Oh, he's so
I bloody wish we had McFred.
Scott McDonald's as a DM.
Mm-hmm.
As a CM, who we're gonna have?
I think Fernandez.
So, Fernandez. And as the other CM?
Matic.
Steak match. There you go. And then on the right.
This is where anything, literally anything could happen here.
Happen, yeah.
I'm going to put Rashford.
Go for what you think.
I think Rashford.
What you want. Okay.
Well, not what I want, but Rashford I think is most likely one to start.
Well, what do you want?
What do I want?
Yeah, what do you want to see?
Rashford.
Okay.
Make him go out.
Left wing?
Sancho.
I don't want him, by the way. I don't want Rashford.
Yeah, he's got a good record against Arsenal.
I know, I just don't want him.
Okay.
I don't think he'll. It's not when we got Saka and Martinelli on the wings anyway. And yeah, striker.
Ronaldo.
Would have to be Ronaldo, isn't it? Yeah. He's always loved Arsenal, isn't he?
But the thing is that literally we could see Hannibal Maybury play. We could see Wan-Bissaka play at left back and Delo at right back. Lots of things could happen tomorrow.
Okay.
But I suspect that will be the team.
Okay, so that's your lineup. So we're gonna reload. Hopefully reload that. So I'm gonna go for mine.
Okay.
So it'll be the as usual 4-2-3-1, I believe. Unless he does something absolutely bonkers and tries to play a frigging. If he plays a false 9 again, I literally will tear my eyeballs out. Because every time he does it, he fucking loses. Because he has this mad moment where he says, I'm going to be like Pep and I'm going to do a false 9. That's how we got knocked out of Europe. Never trusted it since. And actually, every time he's played it since then, he's still lost, I believe. So, yeah. So, obviously, the ramming goal. You got to put Ramsdale in there for me. So, the ramming goal. His performance, he's been a bit loose with coming to get balls from corners and dealing with certain cross balls and that. His distribution's sometimes gone a little bit wayward at times, and it's worrying a little bit. Cedric will be on the right. I don't think he'll play anyone else. I think Cedric will be on the right. Now the left back. Oh, do I play Tavares? Oh God, he's not ready though. But we need Xhaka in the midfield, unfortunately, unfortunately the best thing we've got. I can't have El Neni there. Fuck it. No, because if we put... No, I know what's going to happen. If we put... You know what? You might as well put Tavares there. Because if we put Xhaka there, he'll just get spun up as well. Xhaka or Nini? El Nini or Xhaka? Do you know what? El Nini. I trust El Nini more than I trust Xhaka. It's just... He's not an 9 out of 10 player, right? But he's one of those players that, you know, where he's just safe. He deals what he does as a DM, grabs the ball and then just gives it and then offloads it, right? Sometimes not incredibly quick, but quick enough to be able to deal with certain situations, right? And then we can then build up from there. Even if it's having to deal with, like, grab the ball, win the ball and pass it straight back to the defense to then start building up, even if it's just that, rather than Xhaka, who tries to play extravagant balls forward, lose the ball, and then they start attacking down the other end. Either that, or he starts like misreading the game completely, misread the passing lane, sell himself, and leave about a 3-on-2. So yeah, I would also, for me, since I banged on about it, I've got to do it. Smith Rowe, because he'd have to go there as our box to box, because we've got no one else. I know, mate. I know. It's fuck on. So it'd be Odegaard in the middle, so you'll get the ball and actually receive the ball. It would be Martinelli on the left. Bearing in mind, this lot never got a rest at all because he plays the same substitutions and doesn't rest the squad, and then wonders why we're underperforming in certain games because our squad is knackered. But he will sit there and moan to the press about what I didn't like as well. When these fixtures came out with the Chelsea game before the Man United game, he was very quick to have a go at the Premier League, right? Whether it's you as a manager who doesn't rest the squad. It's you as a manager that doesn't rest certain players and squad rotates, right? There was perfectly opportunity when he had a fully fit squad to rotate the side. So bring Pepe in, for example. Bring in like other. There were other players you could have brought on, for example. Like, sorry, excuse me, 1 minute. No.
Let us know in the comments what you reckon.
Sorry.
Okay.
Sorry, but yeah, if you're gonna bitch about fixture congestion, then make sure you're rotating your side regularly, and you're doing everything you can to keep your squad as fresh as possible, which is not something that Arteta is doing, which does bug me a lot because then you see Saka and Martinelli, and after about 45 minutes, they're like dead on their feet, which in the long run ain't gonna help. And to be honest, a lot of the time, Saka's had to put performances in when he's been like that, and it's been like the first half of the season, it was very underwhelming because if you actually look at it, and even to now, probably until I think he had a month, about 2 or 3 weeks off at one point during this season.
Yeah.
But before that point, he had not had a rest since we restarted football after the first lockdown in 2020. That's the last time he got rest before that time out. I think in Abu Dhabi, I believe it was. That was the first proper rest he got. Which is that was all by Arteta. I'm sorry, that's not good enough. You need to rotate your squad better than that. You've got players in your squad to do so. So, but there you go. I'll put Pepe up front, to be honest. He can play as a striker. But I don't want Nketiah up there. Lack of threat. is exactly what we call him.
Steven,
No threat.
Sorry, this team is
What?
like, you got Pepe as striker, you've got Emil Smith Rowe as a box to box. I mean, do you not think that this isn't a reflection of reality? You think that this will come out on the pitch?
No, but that's what I would like to see. I don't go.
I'd
with
like
what
to
the
see
manager
that
wants.
as well. I'd be absolutely delighted if that was the team in that formation to play Manchester United.
I think that'll work for me. I still ain't picked the defenders yet, but unfortunately, we got to go with Ben White and Gabriel if they're fit. Oh no, it was Ben White was fit. Sorry. What I don't want him playing as a frigging. I don't want him playing as a right back. Gabriel. Gabriel. Blah blah blah. Right. For me, that would work. For me, I'd like to see that as a change because there's no other threat. If we got no other attacking threat, then Ketia can't do the job, right? Who else? Lacazette can't score, right? So who else is going to put up front? You might as well give it a go, right? And the only other person I'll probably swap out of that is the El Neni or Xhaka thing, but that's probably about it, right? This is the best one in a few years. It's okay. I'm not wrong. When we're challenging for a title, then I'm wrong, which is never going to happen. Sorry, it's the sad truth. And because like I said at the start, the record last season to this season is the same, so it's not significant improvements. With 250 million spent on the club by this manager, compared to Emery, who only spent 50 mil, right? That's like, if you want to compare it to anything, I'll compare Emery's first season to Wenger's last, to Arteta's first full season to his next season, which is Emery managed to from sixth and a poor record and couldn't score, was struggling to score or concede. He went from that to be able to go fifth place, 1 point from top four, when we could have had third, and we got to a European final, which is one step further than Wenger got. Whereas Arteta has knocked us out of Europe completely, and second season has only been able to at least match the win, loss, draw, goals score, goals against record, which is a fact of how your league season's been. So, but there you go. Everyone has their own opinion in the end, but don't worry. But anyway, predictions. Your score prediction, bath time, mate. What do you think? What do you think, mate? What do you think the score is going to be?
Sorry, 2-1 Manchester United.
2-1 Manchester United.
I do. I don't think we'll keep a clean sheet. I think that Saka, if
I'll be gobsmacked to keep a clean sheet.
Yeah, I think that Wan-Bissaka might be able to sort Saka out, but I worry about Lacazette's energy in recovering the ball and not giving centre-backs time to settle. However, Manchester United, after some pretty poor performances, have come back against your North London rivals with Tottenham. I think that Ronaldo will be extremely motivated to score a goal. And I think that the team will be extremely motivated with the new manager and like a humiliating season.
Yeah.
And I fully expect Scott McTominay to run through your midfield like Godzilla in Tokyo.
Probably, mate. Probably. Oh, yeah, probably, mate. But yeah. I'm gonna go with. I've got about. Look, no matter what, like
You
I
got to go
always want.
2-1 United, Stephen.
No, I always want Arsenal to win, despite my agendas with the manager or anything else. Because
Just say 2-1 United. Easy. Arteta out.
No,
Easy.
no,
So easy. 2-1.
no,
Easy.
no. Because unlike some Arteta out lot who rather see us lose, I don't value my agenda with the manager over the love of my football club.
Yeah, I know.
Football club comes first, mate.
But reality, it's going to be 2-1 Manchester United, isn't it? You
Yeah,
got a bad manager. You got like bad players.
No, I'm sorry. Look.
Just integrity, Stephen. It's got to be a Man United win. It's got to be.
No, because I can't stand you lot. So fuck you. No,
yeah, but it's reality, isn't it? Like you've just spent an hour telling me how bad your team are. Like we've got Ronaldo, the greatest goal scorer in football history.
Yeah, but no doubt we could launch one ball in the box, and no doubt Maguire will head it in.
I don't think that will happen.
It.
I think it'll be 2-1. Just go 2-1, easy.
No, look,
so easy.
I think it'll be a 1-0 Arsenal. Actually, we'll nick a goal out somewhere and then park the bus.
And you think Ronaldo won't score?
All right, 2-1 then.
2-1 United. Good lad.
2-1 Arsenal.
All right, well, thank you.
2-1 Arsenal. Shut up.
Okay.
You know what I mean. Right. Anyway, but look, I know it's been over an hour, but I really do appreciate you coming on bath time.
It's been my pleasure.
Yeah, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on, mate. Where can I find you, mate? Before we go.
I don't know. Like, go and subscribe to the Manchester United Agenda, MU Agenda on Twitter. Like if you're an Arsenal fan, the good lads over there pop on for their reaction show after the match, and you can take a break from Stephen's relentless Arteta out propaganda machine, like the sort of instrument of a communist state. Like their shows are on later and stuff, but they're proper football fans, and everyone is welcome. We see like a lot of the people in the comments, such as Anthony Herbert, are there quite regularly, and I do some work with them from time to time. So please come and join us there. Like and subscribe.
You're a twat.
Thank you.
Anyway, despite me having despite me being Arteta out or odd, even if you're Arteta in, any fan of Arsenal is welcome to come on and have their opinion heard. And every football fan is allowed to come on every football show we do and have their opinion heard. And that's what the channel's all about, as well as raising money for Children's Liver Disease Foundation. So, like we said, we've got the watch along tomorrow. We've got a match reaction at 5, which is later because of the sprint qualifying at 3:30 on the F1 channel. So make sure you go and subscribe to SFeatley F1 as well. But yeah, everyone that has tuned in, big up to all of you. Big respects to all of you, and we will see you next time. But until then, everyone stay safe, stay well, and we'll